Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Abians. I am Honourable Emeka Ikwawu. I am a native of Umuobela in Isikwata local government area, the humble commissioner for youth and sports development, Abia State. I am also the chief executive officer of Homesview Properties Limited, a property company based in Lagos. I'm also the proprietor and the sole owner of Emeka Ikwagu Foundation, a humanitarian outfit. Emeka Ikwagu was once a candidate of PDP for the Federal House of Rep, Isikwato Umunochi Federal Constituency. I was the campaign director, Isikwata local government of PDP in the last election. I must have to, first of all, thank God, give glory to God that gave me life, gave me the opportunity to be who I am today. And another thanks go to my governor, my boss, His Excellency Dr. Okezie Ibazo, who gave me this opportunity and, of course, reposed a whole lot of trust in me in the youth sports department of the state. Emeka Ikwagu is not born with a silver spoon. Is born to a modest family of late Mr. Mike Ekowa Ikwagu and Mrs. Joy Ikwagu. The mother is still alive. My father died several years ago when I was in what we call class 4. And of course, he was just a normal man. I wasn't born with a silver spoon, a civil servant. And my growing up was full of ups and downs, challenges, and it's not what, if you look at my background, it's a detachment from what I am today. But as I said, it's the grace of God, it is focus, it is determination, it is sheer grace of God that have put me where I am today, which is just a stepping stone to where I'm going to. Growing up in a family of 4, I gave my siblings 2 boys and a girl. The girl is in faraway north, my other sister, and my younger ones are also doing well in their respective businesses. One is S8 on media to our governor, and the last one works in Port Harcourt with the Totafena Health, an oil company. And all these things are not because of who we know, but because of the God we know that has kept us where we are today. Growing up was full of challenges. The Emeka you're seeing today was a barber. I barbed hair to augment my school fees when my father died. I happened to found myself barbing with comb and razor blade. I was not accessed to electric clipper then. People that were using the electric clippers we have today are people from the very rich homes. And neither will I go to in the use of the former instruments, the ones they call chaka chaka. Most people will know about that using many years ago. But then I decided to go with the flow, using razor blade and comb to do the magic on people's hair. And the thing gave me so popular that a woman God presented on my way, Mrs. Dr. Nenamnaji, a woman from Olo, came in so many years ago from France and decided to open a very big salon, a uni multi-purpose salon, where it's a departmental salon. You have the barber, the hairdressing, the fashion, the seamstresses, they tell us several things brought together under one roof. But then they picked me as the barber there, and the grace of God, I worked hard and I worked well. And along the line, the woman now asked me, "You're a young man. Why wouldn't you want to continue schooling? What is happening? How is your parents?" I have to tell her the stories of my life, and she said, "If you have your O levels good, you can roll into school, and I'm gonna be by you." And by the grace of God, she supported me. I took jam, fully jam along the way. I found out that the courses I put for jam, fine arts, I have flair for art. I draw very well, even up till now. And the second thought, I looked at the cost implication studying fine arts in the higher university, Nigerian university. I got discouraged, and I didn't take JAMB again. I took poly JAMB, where I put in estate management. And I will tell you, there was no mentor, there was no uncle by my side, there was nobody to run to direct me. But I'll just tell you that as a young boy led by grace, I can't run away from God. Going through the brochure, and I saw that the courses that align with my courses are estate management. And then I didn't know what it was. I just put it, let me enter school and become a graduate. And before you know it, the only thing I ask people in that line, do they wear suits? Do they wear tie? Because my father, as an insurance man, normally wears tie and suit, and he left so many of suit and ties there that nobody was wearing. So I felt that if I did estate management, I'll come up and start wearing the ties and the suit the man left behind. And before you know it, I never knew that the profession is a money spinning course, a self-reliant course. You don't depend on anybody. You can read the course and open up on your own, and the grace will see you through. And before you know it, I managed myself out of school with the help of the woman, my barbing work, and served in Taraba State. And while I was in Taraba State, I was posted to the Ministry of Lands and Survey. And of course, as a youth corper in far away, not Taraba State, Jalingo, they were not doing much. The staff were not doing much. It was a newly created state, So I wanted to get my hands busy. I went into community development services by bringing schools together. And as of today, when I begin to join one and two together, I begin to know that there is a way God and nature works. What I'm doing today as a commissioner for youth and sports was where I find joy doing as a youth corper several years ago, organizing competitions among schools, cultural, quiz, educational, whatever you call it. And by that year, and I remember 89, 88, about 87, 88, is it? 89, thereabout. I was given the best corper of the year in Jalingo, Taraba State. And offered employment, but I couldn't stay. Came back and got a work with Mokoma Associates in Owerri. I worked there for couple of years. Now find myself in Lagos for the very first time visiting Lagos in the year 1999, 2000. By 2000, I was in Lagos with the estate surveying firm called Dia Fatemilehi and Company. It's a Yoruba company dealing with estates and property management. God exalted me there. I worked well. I was focused. I left there to open my own. And it was the grace of God that saw me through. In 2003, I opened what is called today Homes View Properties, that has branches, and I've employed over 40 Nigerian youths working under me. And of course, when a growing child never knew he grows. And how do you know you grow? When you need Coke, you drink Coke. You want to buy shoe, you buy shoe. You want to eat this one, you eat this one. Say, so I'm comfortable, I have the money. And now I remember the way I was coming from. And before then, I had to marry my girlfriend, my wife, Mrs. Nkiru Ikwagu, who is now a wife of a commissioner. But many years ago, we never knew we are going to be what I am today. We just married a struggling guy, and we have 4 grown-up kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. So let's leave them off for now. Just 2 boys, 2 girls. And having established the company, we started growing. We're opening branches here and there. And our head office is in Agor, Isolo local government. And as I kept expanding, I remembered where I'm coming from. Remember that a woman who was not related to me trained me and gave me an opportunity to live. I began to help again, a kind of giving back to society, because in Agor, Okota is solo, and I know most of this news will get to the environment in Lagos. They know that they mark in the life of people there. And we began to give a kind of giving back to society. We picked about 400 schools in a sort of local government to engage them into what I call homes inter-school competition, where about 10 activities were involved: football, volleyball, handball, quiz, essay, debate, and spelling bees. They were engaged into such competition. And I must tell you, when these things were coming up, I got so many discouragements from people, even from the staff of the local government of Isolo, because you must not work in isolation from them. I went to them and told them that, see what I want to do for my people where I have residents. I came with a bag of Ghana must go back from Owerri to Lagos. And within some couple of years, God blessed me, and I said it's good to give back to society. They were thinking it was political, because if you get to Agor Isolo in the local government, it is dominated by Igbos, and Igbos found themselves in the political hierarchy of the local government. So they felt that another Igbo man wants to key in. Told them no, it is apolitical. I have nothing to do with politics. Then I was either here nor there, but my interest is in a government that is moving. They gave me the opportunity, they supported me, I did it, and the thing got so much influence, so many people keyed in. I got supporters from companies, I got from the Wu company, I got from several companies which I can not actually remember. So many people, so many individuals supported with materials. And when these things were getting so much, I decided to move to another local government before my brothers and my sisters now begin to talk to me to come back home, because you cannot be doing all these things to Lagos, where they say it's a center of all. Go back to your state, go back to your local government. You have more poverty there. They need people like you. And I thought it wise, and of course, I pulled my strength and my resources to Isukwato, where I now opened what is called Emeka Ikwabu Foundation, purely on humanitarian basis, keyed in from my upbringing. Has nothing to do with politics. And if I begin to outline what Emeka Ikwabu Foundation has done, I encourage you to key in, Google it. You will see a whole list. For the past 10 years, we have been on the ground, touching lives, touching widows, touching youths, giving several things we are doing. And of course, at that rate, I got into a position that gave rise to politics, and that is where I am today, the end product of Number one, if I tell you I have any person that inspired me academically, I'll tell you is the encouragement I had is my dad. He's well read, and he kept telling all of us that you must go to school, you must go to school. And I think the best advice anybody can give to him or herself is the one you give yourself. Because anybody can be your role model, and at the end, the person disappoints. Nobody is God. It's only God that cannot disappoint. The role model, I believe, is your instinct to build yourself. What do you want to be tomorrow? Yes, it's good to look up to people, but look up to God, the author and the finisher of all these things. Look up to God. No, be dutiful in what you're doing. If it's akara you want to fry and be number one in akara. Want to surpass the other person. If it's barbing you want to do, try and barb well. Learn new techniques. You want to beat the records. You want to school. You want to be an architect. Look at who is the best in the architectural world. Try to achieve more than that person. And by so you are also having a target. You might call it your role model. I don't know. You might have a role model that doesn't have a relationship with you, but because you have read about the person, you now place a target. Every youth must place a target, and you must not be dependent on uncle, brother, sister, even economy. Have a mindset that I will not fail. I must succeed. And for you to succeed, get something doing. Yeah, well, I will tell you that our youths are not lazy. Because I know a quotation one time that youths are lazy. I want to tell you that Nigerian youths are not lazy. And when I talk about Nigerian youth, I want to use Abia State as a strata to justify the youth of Nigerians. We are skillful, we are determined, we want to survive against all odds. We are survivors. We want to compete with the outside world. The Abia youth, the Nigerian youth, are focus oriented. But then there is always a drawback. And what is that drawback? The adequate encouragement from the government, from the federal government, from the state government, from the big, from the mighty. The mighty wants to continue being mighty, the big wants to continue being big, and to the expenses of our youth. And that is why, as a youth commissioner under a youth-loving governor, he has given Abians all the need. What the Abia youth need is to key in. Leave opposition. Opposition does not give anybody any pass mark. Leave and key in to the youth policies and empowerment of the administrations of Okezie Ikpeazu government. Programs are summarized under what I'm going to discuss with us now. Before now, the ministry is divided into youth and sports. Not until now, it has been fused as one. And under the youth ministry, our sole aim, target, and purpose, every project we have is geared into achieving one singular purpose of youth engagement, removing youths from mentality of looking for jobs, being dependent on government or being dependent on somebody to work with. We are geared towards projects that will take out youth from the unemployment world, take out youth from the thinking corner of being employed by anyone. We want them to be self-employed. We want a youth that will collaborate with the youth ministry to propagate government. That means participatory. We don't want them to sit at the fence why we are dishing out politics, whether good or bad politics that are good or against them. So they will be part and parcel. And most importantly, we also want to engage youths into outside the skill acquisition, the skill training. We now want to attach youths, which is mostly what most governments don't do. They stop at youth training and acquisition. And what happens to empowerment? You train people in a particular skill and you go and empower them with another tool. We don't want to do that. So we are giving youths links to financial institutions, to both international and local finance organizational institutions that will support youth in line with the particular skill or acquisition where they have been trained, so that at the end of the day, you will stand with the grants given to you. And of course, you are trained to train others. It becomes a multiplying effect. But we have 17 local governments in Abia State. By the time we take out 2020 youths and train 340 youths in different skills and empower them with grants, where government will stand as a guarantor to them. I believe that the 340, out of the 340 youth, at least 250 will succeed in the skills they are trained or skills they have been acquired. And they will train others. It become a rotational thing. And to achieve this particular purpose, we have few programs. There is one what we call encouraging youth into export business. You know, the Nigerian of today, we are known for oil. Everybody is dependent on oil. If you're not dependent on oil, you want to work in the bank, you want to work in the civil service, you want to do this, you want to do that. But less people are into export business. And export business as of today, we look at the very big names. And we're expecting a youth who is just unemployed. We're expecting a youth who just came out of school to enter into export business. Of course, it's money intensive. But we have packaged a program with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council to package a unique program to encouraging only youths into export businesses. Who are those youths into entrepreneurship? Who are those youths that are interested in skill acquisition? We will package them in line with this export council. And of course, their goods and services will be exported, well packaged, in line with the consumers, exports, whatever standards. So you make it standardized. And if the loans are to be given, the council also with the states will unite to empower this. They have accesses to loans and things like that. But there are already ready markets overseas waiting to be patronized from us. So beyond that, we are also looking at what we call Abia State Skill Acquisition Center, a one-stop shop of all the youths. Our governor has given us express permission to look at the Nsulu Games Reserve at Nsulu, somewhere in Ngwa, few distance away from the capital, to look at the mundane, the moribund, the sports facilities there, to see a way of creating a youth skill empowerment center or village within the sporting complex, whereby anybody in the states, in the world, will come to Abia State and you want to look at where are the youthful strength of these states. You just have a drive to that youth village where you see the sporting complex, you see all manner of sports engaging youths. You also see skill acquisition centers where we expect to build hostels for youth. We expect to allow private companies and institutions to come in and also train our youth. You have workshop for mechanics, we have workshop for hairdressing, we have workshop for different skills. Name it, is what is going to be housed there. So that when youths are trained, some are empowered to leave the village, go and find their living outside the village, and those that are retained will stay and train more youth. The work of the local government and the work of the ministry is to dish out, bring out youth quarterly or half yearly from our local government and push them into that village and train them. And you find out that there you will see laborers. You see laborers in different skills. You see products and services, so that whenever you need anything, if the outside world is too expensive for you and you need things to be done and done well, you come to our youth empowerment centers and youth will be there to do it for you. So these are our programs for this youth. At the end of this tenure, there is no how we will not be able to release over 5,000 empowered, poverty removed youths from the states.
Thank you, my distinguished.
Beyond the youth, we also look at the sport. I've just spoken about the youth angle. In the sport, what is our focus on sports? We want to go to grassroots development of sports. Grassroots development of sports. Fishing talents from all the nook and crannies of the states. We want to decentralize. Yes, football, when you talk about sports, every man's youth attention goes to football. Yes, we will deal on football. We cannot remove that one. But we want to give so many other sporting activities or events, opportunities. We want to introduce them. We want to go down to the villages, to the hinterlands, go back to them with different sporting activities, presenting them to our youth at grassroots. There is no how. At the end of the day, we will not see more Cameroon posts, we will not see Onyales, we will not see Choma Jonwas, we will not see even the weightlifters. We will see them. We will harvest a whole lot of youth. And of course, to achieve these grassroots targets of sports support and exposition to our youth, we have just created a project under the ministry we call the Abia State Youth Sports Festival 2020. It's going to be a blow. It's going to be one of its kind. It's going to be the biggest, the largest school sports event ever in the history of Abia State, and from extension in the history of the southeastern states. I have gone around, I have discussed, it has never happened before. It will happen in Abia State very, very soon. And I'm encouraging our youth to come out en masse and participate. We are in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. And of course, we call it school sports. So all the private and the public schools are involved. And as at date, we have released free of charge 1,500 forms to schools. And I will authoritatively tell you that we have received in this office filled completed forms. 1,000 schools have shown interest to participate in this event. And they are competing on 18 different sporting activities. 18 different sporting activities. And at the end of the show, I will tell you that the story will change in the sporting history of the state. And beyond that, I want to let you know that the Minister for Youth and Sports has given us his words that he will be present during our activity. I have spoken to colleagues in the eastern states, Imo, Ebonyi, Anambra, Enugu. They have also given me the awards, and we are working in tandem with the school calendar of Abia State. It's going to happen in the month of March, and because we need governor's physical presence there, we will go back to him for him to give us a particular date. He will be chance to attend. And before then, we are planning what we call unveiling event to unveil the festival, which will happen, of course, a month to the actual festival. We are unveiling the logo, we are unveiling the mascot of the event, we are unveiling the jingle. We are also unveiling or lighting up the torch, the Abia State Torch of Unity. And what do we mean by Abia State Torch of Unity? You bear with me that you know what we call Olympic light, Olympic torch. In every big sporting event, there is always things like torch, flame, and what we have. So Abia State has their own as Abia State Torch of Unity. And we intend to move around the 17 local governments and in the 3 senatorial zones, the north, the south, and the central. The 3 torches will go around and, of course, terminate at the center of the stadium to be received by our humble governor, whose torch will be lit up by these 3 different torches, indicating 3 senatorial zones uniting in one force to make what we call the Abia Torch of Unity. And of course, on that particular note, the governor, having lit the torch, will also unveil us the logos with so many activities surrounding it, the lightning effect, the balloon effect, the mascot effect, and of course the drawing of the curtain and the pigeon. It's going to be wow. It's going to be wow. And it's expected that all the schools participating will march around showcasing their strength in unity. It's going to be one of its kind. And we expect and hope and pray that when we gather again for the ESCO meeting, I'm going to appeal so that it will be a yearly event. It's going to live beyond us. And I want to also let us understand now that several international schools from the US, from London, has given us written support that they are interested in coming down within the event to pick 2 of our students for scholarship. The people that will excel or that will distinguish themselves in the field of play. So we are having support. We have so much support, and we are getting encouraged. Abia Youth in Diaspora, my advice to you is to shun cultism, shun responsibilities, depending whichever side you are. We know that youths over there engage in shooting, youths over there engage in gay practices, they engage in speaking Indian hymns and all whatnot. You can't change what is happening there. But my advice to our Abia youths that has the Abia blood, that you be our mirror over there. Shun them, come back here, go there, acquire their skills, acquire their knowledge, come back to Abia State and transfer the technology to us. We are willing youths over here to learn, to adjust, to adapt, and to put in external knowledge to the bank, our knowledge bank here, so that the Abia youth will be where we want them to be. For Nigeria is that we have to pray. Boko Haram is killing us. It's destabilizing, it's discouraging. The Abia youth, if you talk about Nigerian youth, I'm taking a starter from the Abia youth. we are afraid. Where are we going to? Securities of lives and properties are not assured. You wake up to the internet and you see camp chairman be butchered alive, seeing young men, young women being killed alive, and it's like nothing is happening. Our prayer is that let there be peace. It's only when you have peace you can see development. It's only when you see peace you can see youth rise up to challenges. But if you allow youth to do things their own way, there's going to be youth revolution. But we don't pray for that. Thank you very much.